Ayameva Aryo Attangiko Makko Seyatidang Sammaditi.
Let me welcome you with the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem in my heart. It is Saturday evening, August 14th. So we are going to start this evening Sutta study class for the benefit of all those good friends who participate in this class and also those who join with us later on with this Sutta discussion. Those who join with us through live stream and also YouTube and cannot ask questions about the Sutta, but those who join with us Zoom can contribute for the discussion for the benefit of everyone who participate in this discussion. So with that remarks, I just want to begin the recitation of Namo Tassa 3 times in Pali and in English. That is our venerations to the Buddha on behalf of each and everyone in this Sutta study class. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in Dhamma, today we are going to discuss the Sutta number 62 of the Majjhima Nikaya. And as you know, the name of the Sutta is Maharahuluvada Sutta. By this name, you can understand the background of the discourse, because we have the Rahula, the name Rahula in it. You can easily guess what it would be and to whom the Buddha delivered this discourse. Rahula is the only son of the Buddha, became a monk, when he was very young, and you know the story of how Venerable Rahula, come into that position in his life, so that I do not want to go to relate the background story. So Venerable Rahula was one of the remarkable monks in the Sasana because of his gentle attitudes. He could have been very arrogant and arrogant monk because of the relationship with the Buddha, but even before he attained to enlightenment as a young novice, he did not have an iota of ignorance, iota of conceit or ego, just because of the relationship with the Buddha and himself. He was very kind and very flexible, and he, of course, waited for his adults, to be advised. So such an individual was Venerable Rahula. Therefore, he was able to attain to enlightenment in an early stage of his life. Out of many wonderful characters of the Sasana in Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni and lay Upasaka and Upasika order, Venerable Rahula was so famous because of such reasons. So we are going to study what exactly Buddha said here in this discourse to Venerable Rahula. I think many of you have heard about this discourse before, so that I may not be able to go on each and every details of the discourse. But very interesting thing is that this discourse help us understand what practice Buddha has asked us to do. Very interesting question is that how the Buddha explained the Anapanasati with its all aspects. If one wants to practice Anapanasati fully, so Buddha said here clearly that what we need to do beforehand with the practice of Anapanasati. In other words, before you go to do Anapanasati meditation, you have to have some prerequisites. Unless you have those qualifications for Anapanasati, you are not going to practice Anapanasati fully and reach to the highest experience of Anapanasati. So this is one of the discourses where Anapanasati is being explained by the Buddha in such a manner. So that is one of the salient features of the discourse. And we can see that, as I remember, more than 8, close to 10 practices are there for us to continuously practice on daily basis just to get into Anapanasati. That is remarkable. The second remarkable point of the discourse. I have a personal reasons for this selected this sutta because I like this discourse, because when the Buddha said Venerable Rahula to practice meditation on 4 elements and metta, karuna, mudita, anicca sanya, and so on, I feel that that message is to me directly, because I like those meditation. I like 4 elements to take as meditation subject and meditate on, and I'm very comfortable with that. And loving kindness and karuna, compassion, mudita, they are some of the qualities that I think of most and bring my attention to particular important state of my meditation. So I personally like how the Buddha approached to Venerable Sariputta's question and deliver the Dhamma. That is interesting to me personally. So I think you have your own interpretation, you have your approach and kind of experience based on this kind of Dhamma in the Sutta, so we can know them during the discussion. Let me begin. The Sutta, as you know, this Sutta was delivered by the Buddha when the Buddha and also Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Rahula were at the Jetvanarame monastery. The story continues that the Buddha went to the city for Pindapata, and then Venerable Rahula, as a very young monk, followed the Buddha for some distance from the Jetvanarame. They were going out of Jetvanarame to the city for Pindapata, and Venerable Rahula was behind the Buddha. Then Buddha turned to Venerable Rahula and said that, Rahula, any kind of material, whatever, whether past, future, or present, internal or external, gross and subtle, inferior and superior, far and near, all material form should be seen as it actually is with the proper wisdom. Thus, this is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. So turn to Venerable Rahula and said that all kinds of form, rupa, whether they are past or future, uh, or present, or internal or external, then gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far and near, all of them, all of them. We have here, 11 ways of explanation for rupa. So whatever rupa it is, they are all not mine, and you should not find yourself in those rupa, and that is not myself. So whenever Rahula was advised by the Buddha to understand, to realize that any form that your mind recognizes, or that you think and that you pursue, is not mine, I'm not there, and they are not myself. In Pali it is said, netang mama nameso hamasmi nameto attati. So it's a very important message to be to keep in our mind. This is not mine. This I'm not, and this is not myself. Right. So that is what the Buddha said to Venerable Rahula. Then this Rahula, Venerable Rahula, is wise, and he thinks that this message came to me directly from the Buddha, and there are many monks and nuns and lay people who cannot meet the Buddha to get advice just because of the distance, just because of various other reasons. But I get this advice from the Buddha directly. How fortunate I am. And going on Pindapatha behind the Buddha and begging some food and eating is nothing. How about if I take this message and go and meditate instead of going on Pindapatha? So I think that shows how wise Venerable Rahul as a young monk. Then he went back to the monastery and sat down under a tree, maybe near the road where monks and lay people walk constantly. And now he started meditating. In the meantime, Venerable Sariputta was passing by that place where Venerable Rahula was sitting for meditation. And Venerable Sariputta said, actually before that, Venerable Sariputta asked from the Buddha, is that all you can say? I mean, is that all? Only Rupa should be reflected like this, or anything else? Then Buddha said that not only form, but also feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness also should be reflected as not mine, and I'm not there, and they are not myself. So all the 5 aggregates should be, putting into this investigation. So then after that, Venerable Sariputta sat down under that tree, and Venerable Sariputta found this young monk meditating under the tree. So he said, Venerable Sariputta said to Venerable Rahula that Rahula, develop mindfulness of breathing. Develop mindfulness of breathing. That is what he sincerely said. When mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, it is of great fruit and great benefit. So that was the advice from Venerable Sariputta to Venerable Rahula. Now, Venerable Rahula is in a confused state because the Buddha in the morning asked Venerable Sariputta to meditate or to reflect on 5 aggregates of clinging as not they are not mine, I'm not there in 5 aggregates of clinging, and they are not myself. That now Venerable Sariputta's advice was something different according to Venerable Sariputta. It is not in the discourse, but I can say that from my experience that Venerable Sariputta was not in a clear understanding about what this is. So then, having taken the both advice, he stayed further until the evening time comes when Venerable Rahula can meet the Buddha. So he went to the Buddha in the evening after meditation and said this, Venerable Sir, how is mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated so that it is of great good and great benefit? Let me know the way the mindfulness of breathing is being practiced fully and how can I get the maximum benefit from it? In other places where Anapanasati meditation is discussed by the Buddha or the other monks, they directly say, okay, you go to a foot of a tree or a empty hut or to the forest and sit with cross leg, keep your body erect, pay your attention up to nostril somewhere over here, parimukang sating upattapetva, then mindfully breathe in, mindfully breathe out. When there is long in-breath, understand this is long in-breath. When you breathe out, understand that you are breathing out long. And such advices are there in explanations to such questions. In other words, when somebody asks about the Anapanasati, the Buddha or any other monks who were questioned said that those 16 steps of Anapanasati. But we do not find that pattern here in the discourse of Maharahuluvada Sutta. So Buddha said here that you focus something different. If you want to practice Anapanasati in full form, just practice this before. Rahula, whatever internally belonging to oneself is solid, solidified, and clung to, that is head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, and so on. So Buddha said to Venerable Sariputta to practice elements meditation, 5 elements meditation. Patavi, solidity, Patavi, Apo, cohesion or water, then Patavi, Apo, Tejo, heat, and Vayo, air, and Akasa, which means space. Out of 6 elements, we have 5 here. So Venerable Sariputta was advised by the Buddha to reflect on the 5 elements, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. We need to read one just to understand how the Buddha turned it into a nice discourse. Rahula was advised that you should consider the Patavi, solidity, solidified, whatever in your body. There Buddha mentioned 20 body parts. As you know, in particular Manasikara, where we consider each and every body parts, we have 32 maximum. And out of 32, 20 of them are in this first elements, or 20 of those body parts belongs to earth elements. You can read the discourse and know all these body parts, starting from body hair, head hair, teeth, nails, skin. Then others are also part of the solidity. So Venerable Sariputta was asked, now both the internal, that is internal earth elements. Internal means in your body. And what is the external earth element? Something solidity, something solid. It could be the bench, it could be the computer, it could be the soil, it could be the tree, the car, the house. Anything with solidity would be Patavi Dhatu. So external Patavi Dhatu and internal Patavi Dhatu. Whatever these Patavi Dhatu, whether they are future, related to future, present or past, or gross and subtle, far and near, whatever they are not mine. This is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself. That is the important line we all should remember for our reflection. This is not mine. This I am not. And this is not myself. So Venerable Rahula was advised by the Buddha to consider the internal and external earth elements, which is solid, which is gross and subtle, far and near, related to time period and so on. And they are not mine. This is not mine. When you say only Patavi Dhatu, it is a singular. This is not mine. What do you mean by this? This means the Patavi Dhatu internally and externally. This is not mine. This I am not, and this is not myself. When one sees it thus as it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the earth elements and makes the mind dispassionate towards the earth elements. The very interesting results is mentioned there with this reflection. When we are able to consider anything solid internally and externally as not mine, I'm not there, they are not myself, we do not expect any pleasantness, unpleasantness, or neutral feeling out of those solid body part, solidity, or any body parts or anything out of the body which has solidity. We never expect those things. Therefore, nibbida arise. Disenchantments mean nibbida, nibbindati. Nibbida means you are not finding your, no, let me tell you in that way. We basically like to have pleasant feeling as average humans. We dislike unpleasant feeling. And when we have neutral feeling, there is no any pleasantness in that as well, so that our trying is to bring pleasant feeling. So this is how we live in this world. So when you come to this level that you consider Patavi Dhatu is here and out of that, and the nature of Patavi Dhatu is also changing, so that you reflected, this is not mine, this is not mine, this Patavi Dhatu is not mine, and I am not there, and it is not myself. Your mind slowly accept the fact that there is nothing to enjoy, nothing to reject, nothing to be ignorance on that. As a result of that, you are not going to react to anything, anything happen to your earth elements. For example, if you become sick and then, or if you injured, if you are injured, so you are not worrying about it, because you clearly understand that this is a part of Patavi Dhatu. It's a breaking a part of Patavi Dhatu, right? So that's how your wisdom come into play. And when we go to the second point, which is about water elements, so we can see 12 body parts out of 32 are mentioned as body parts that related to Apodhat. Starting from, what do you call, bile, phlegm, push, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, such as. So the 20 body parts of the 32 belongs to solidity, Patavi Dhatu, and the other 12 belongs to Apo Dhatu. So there is no heat and air mentioned, because they are not part of the body. They are existing and circulating in the body as because the life expand is still working. But when we consider the 32 body parts, we can separate them into two. 20 belongs to Patavi Dhatu and 12 belongs to Apo Dhatu. So in the second factor, Venerable Rahula was advised by the Buddha, consider the Patavi, Apo Dhatu, internal Apo Dhatu, those 12 body parts, and then external Apo Dhatu, water basically. So they are not mine, and let's say in a singular form, it is not mine, and then this is this I am not, and this is not myself. So with the Apo Dhatu, we also reflect like before, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. As a result of that reflection, also we come to the point that this nibbindati, then when you have nibbindati, you are not going to worry about anything happen to our podat, internally and externally. Then third one, fire, tejo dhatu, it does not only the heat, the warm feeling, cold, even cold is included in that element. So think about the internal fire element, tejo dhatu, and also external fire elements. So how do we recognize the internal fire elements? It is said in the discourse, we can feel these things like when we eat food, we feel hot in the mouth. And if you mindfully eat, so you understand that, hotness when you eat because of chili, because of spices is tejo dhatu. Suppose you swallow them and you feel burning things in the body. Suppose your clothes are too tight and the weather is over 30, so that is that warm and hot feeling is tejo dhatu. When you drink hot water, hot coffee, tea, that's you burn your lips and the tongue, and that is your tejo dhatu. Suppose you are sick with fever, so you have tejo dhatu manifested in your body. So like that, you recognize tejo dhatu in as a internal elements, and when you comes to external tejo dhatu fire elements, you can see fire outside of the society, and bushfire, and the fire in the kitchen, and light of the candles. Those are fire elements. And then when we comes to the fourth element, we need to finish the elements like this. This is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. Right? Then the air elements, air elements, internal air elements, external air elements, gross, subtle, and then belong to oneself and so forth. So that is how we understand the elements with breathing. That is also categorized into various ways, like the air element that goes in, air element that comes out through the nostril, and air element that goes through, comes out with different ways, not only through the nostril, and air elements that active in our stomach, in the whole, like ear and so forth. So air elements could be different in that way, so that those are internal air elements, and external air elements is the wind. So your reflection here is that no matter which air element it is, whether it is internal or external, or going up or down, whatever it is, they are not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. So these are the four primary elements, and Venerable Sariputta was advised by the Buddha to reflect in such a way. To me, it is very clear. If you understand the four elements in internal four elements, that is whole your body. There is nothing out of the four elements in this body, right? So if you practice netang mama nimeso hamasi nimeso attati, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself, that itself bring us some training, some patience, some discipline, verbally, mentally, and physically, because it is a huge practice, because you cut off some sort of Sakkaya Ditthi there, and man and ego. They are big because of this constant training. This is not mine, and this I am not, and this is not myself. So we go to the space element too. Space element Akasa Dhatu, which internal and external. Uh, so in our body we have space. Suppose I close my mouth like this, so there's a space between the teeth and the tongue and the upper jaw of the mouth, and then inside when we this food goes in between food and between, you have space, and then whole of the, there are two holes here, and then we can find such space inside the body. Vacuum, there is vacuum in the body sometime, so that is called internal space element. So outside, external element is very clear, and between myself and the computer and yourself and the computer, there is a space, and everywhere space is everywhere. So you consider that this space element is also not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. Perhaps you do not see the significance of this reflection, because why we need to go to each element and say this is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself, because some elements are not that clear, like air elements. And why do we think that air element is not mine, and so on? And why do we think space element is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself? So why actually? Because friends, suppose you have a difficulty of breathing. Suppose you meditate on Anapanasati. It's all about breathing. So many people are fear of losing this breath. We all know the fact that we are dead if this breath stops. But if you know that this breath is warm or short or long, and it's not felt very well, and it is in disorder, you become upset if you do not have this understanding. What is that understanding? This is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. So friends, this is an era in which we practice the meditation on elements more than ever, because we do not know whether we live tomorrow. Because of the short breath and the problem with the lungs, with the coronavirus, we might lose our life. The quality of living would be changed dramatically because of this virus, invisible virus. So when you have the problem of breath, you become upset, you become fear of losing your life. But if somebody has practiced these four great elements, or five elements, you may stay calm and peaceful, and there would be a physical pain definitely, but your mind doesn't react to it, and mind does not get any pollution out of it, because you have that understanding. This is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. So that's why we need to get this point of the Dhamma in the Sutta very well into our practice. So we quickly go into next. Now, having said these five elements, Buddha said as the sixth point, Rahula, develop meditation that is like the earth. From when you develop meditation that is like the earth, I have to tell this. Having said these five elements, Venerable Sariputta was advised with this. A recent agreeable and disagreeable contact will not invade your mind and remain. Say, when you develop meditation on earth elements, the agreeable and disagreeable feeling that arise in your mind never invade your mind. Suppose, because you have enough practice on earth elements, you have practice on good practice, you have good practice on body parts, hair, teeth, nails, and so on. So suppose your teeth are broken because of an accident or because of something else. You were so happy to have clear white teeth, but unfortunately you lost the quality of your teeth. So many people become so upset, embarrassed, and they do not go to people because their pride, their handsomeness was with the teeth. They cannot open their mouth because of that ego mind. But how about if they practice the meditation on earth elements enough, as said here by the Buddha? You are not worrying about your outer appearance, whatever it is. You might be confident on your own because you have that sense that this is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. So Venerable Rahula was clearly explained by the Buddha here that agreeable and disagreeable contact with contacts will not invade your mind. It means that anything happen to solid body parts, is not taken as is not taken personally, is not taken with ego mind. Isn't this what we need to do with the meditation? Just as people who throw clean things and dirty things, excrement, urine, spittle, push blood into the earth, and the earth is not felt humiliated and disgusted because of that. That's a simple example. Even if we put bad, ugly, unpleasant, disgusted things to the soil, the patavi, external patavi dhatu, the earth never complains that I cannot hold this, it is so ugly, and so on. So Venerable Rahula was advised by the Buddha, Rahula, just be like that. The earth, the conventional earth, never complains with putting anything like those. So that Rahula, when something happened to internal earth elements, for example, hair, the skin, teeth, nails, brain, heart, and so on, consider that this is not mine, which means this heart is not mine, this is not, this I am not, and this is not myself. So how we react to illnesses like cancer, heart failure, brain damage, and all kinds of illnesses, we become grounded if we know that I have this terminal illness. But if you practice meditation on earth elements, water elements, fire elements, air elements, space element, and so on, with the statement, this is not mine, this is not, this I am not, and this is not myself, there is no chance for you to become worried, because you have clearly done your exercise on the mental training that this body is such, it is made up of 4 great elements and 6 great elements, and so on. You are not going to worry about the illness. You face it does not mean that you refuse the medicine because you have an understanding. You of course take the medicine, you follow the instruction of the doctor, and try your best to recover. It is something else, but there is no mental worrying about such illnesses because you have been practicing. So Venerable Venerable Rahula was advised with marvelous examples. For example, water. Even though we put water, even though we put bad things into the water like urine, excrement, and oil, and so forth, and even if you pour water into a cesspit, water never complains that I cannot do this. Venerable Rahula was advised by the Buddha to consider in a similar manner, internal water element is such that this is not mine, and just like the water outside never complains about anything, any bad things, so I do not, so am I. Like that, Venerable Rahula was advised with the heat elements and air elements and space elements. So if we put something into fire, the fire never complains. And then air, suppose you burn down some bad smelly things, and the wind never complains. And space also. Like that, Venerable Rahula was advised by the Buddha to consider internal and external elements as not mine. This I am not, and this is not myself. Very idea is to break down the ego mind and sakkaya ditthi and conceit mana. And when you deal with these negative, very dangerous defilement, ignorance has been targeted directly. If sakkaya ditthi is broken into pieces, and mana and uddhacca and all the other defilement, related defilement, ignorance has been invaded to be defeated. So that's how unenlightened individuals should take the training to be enlightened. So Rahula was advised further with remarkable things like once the Buddha finished the advice with the 5 elements, he said that Rahula, develop meditation on loving kindness. For when you develop meditation on loving kindness, any ill will be abandoned. So practicing loving kindness is the key for us to destroy ill will, vyapad. In Samma Vayama, we have Samma Sankappa, we have Avyapada Sankappa. In Samma Sankappa, we have Avyapada Sankappa, which means loving kindness. So when you practice Avyapada Sankappa, which means metta, you have been targeted the Vyapada, which means ill will. Ill will is being defeated by practicing good will. So that is what Buddha said here. Then meditation on compassion should be practiced in order to destroy cruelty in mind. Meditation on sympathetic joy or altruistic joy should be practiced, because any discontent feeling, sometimes people are so unhappy because of such reasons, like you cannot get into into your expectation, but others of course get into their expectation as they wish for, so you become unhappy because you can see the next door person, the other person that you know have been going through the difficulties and win over, but you are not. So seeing those things and experiencing those things, people become unhappy. So they are discontented with anything and everything they have. So mudita should be practiced, which means you become happy with others' success and you become happy with everything you have. And if you have everything to survive, you are not worrying about others' properties. And suppose you have a friend who has various type of things for the use, but you have only few things. If you have practiced mudita in your life, you never compare yourself to that particular friend and say that I don't have this, so that I cannot be happy. No, you are happy with whatever you have. That is because of mudita. And then Buddha said, practice equanimity, upekka. It is also part of meditation. In sitting meditation, we can have these 4 types of practices: metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. So now Buddha has given Venerable Sariputta 8 meditation objects to be practiced just before the Anapanasati. Let's see whether we have some more. Rahula developed meditation on unattractiveness, asubha sanya, bhavetabba. Rahula, practice Asubha Sanya. For when you develop meditation on Asubha, any lust will be abandoned. When you practice Asubha Sanya or not Subha, not attractive, your lust, your craving nature in mind would be gone. Raga, Charita, the character which has lust as prominent quality should be practiced Asubha Bhavana because they have attached to many things. Whatever see, they attach. Whatever here, they attach. So their character is such that, so that Buddha asks them to practice Asubha Bhavana quite often because they have to work hard to get that out of their mind. So after the 4 Brahma Vihara meditation, Buddha said, practice Asubha Bhavana. Then Rahula developed meditation on perception of impermanent, Anicca Sanya Bhavetabba. Why do we practice Anicca Sanya? The reason is mentioned here. When you develop meditation on the perception of impermanence, the conceit I am will be abandoned. Asmi man, I am so and so, I'm superior to everyone, I'm equal to everyone, I am inferior to others, and this is called man. So asmi man, I am, is being abandoned when you practice the perception of impermanence, anicca sanya. So now we have 10 meditation. Now Rahula developed meditation on mindfulness of breathing. When mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, it is of great fruit and great benefit. And how mindfulness of breathing develops and cultivated so that it is great fruit and so on. See, Buddha answered the question. What is the question of Venerables? Rahula, how do I practice mindfulness of breathing to get the best result out of it? That was the questions in a simple way. Buddha said to Venerable Rahula to practice 10 meditation. What are the 10 meditation? 5 elements and then actually 11 meditation. 5 elements, then 4 Brahma Vihara, altogether 9. Then a meditation on Asubha, meditation on Anicca. So altogether 11 meditation are mentioned as prerequisite for Anapanasati. I would say add here that for some people, they do not want such practices. No need to practice those all 11. Just take at least one, then you would be able to concentrate. Isn't this showing that Anapanasati meditation is not a simple one? Of course, yes, people think that Anapanasati is very simple just because everybody asked to practice, and everywhere in the world where meditation is being taught, they take the subject of this subject of meditation, Anapanasati, to meditate, and they do it years and years, but nothing happened because they haven't done their duties for this meditation Anapanasati. They haven't understood what is Patavi, Tejo, Vayo, and Pataviapo, Tejo, Vayo, Akasa, and Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka, Asubha, and Anicca. They haven't understood those things. What they expect from Anapanasati meditation is actually the basic steps, from basic steps, just to forget their problems and stay in pleasant feeling. Many people who meditate expect pleasant feeling to be developed, and with the jhana you can have it into a certain, that is their goal. In other words, they want to forget their day-to-day problems and stay calm and peaceful. That's all many people who meditate expect from meditation. But according to Buddha's teaching, Dhamma Vinaya, meditation on breath is not for that. Actually, it is a side effect or the result we get out of this meditation halfway through. But Anapanasati is prescribed by the Buddha to take all these defilements out of our mind and attain nirvana. In Samyutta Nikaya, Buddha said that I too, as unenlightened bodhisattva, practice Anapanasati every day, quite often, just to get into perfect mind, perfect concentration, and so forth. And Buddha said there that when I practice Anapanasati, I do not feel tiredness. I do not feel tired. I do not feel fatigue. I do not feel anything wrong. So then we have the Anapanasati steps. It's a long practice actually. As I said earlier, there are 32 single steps, and we couple it, and it's called 16 steps. And then these 16 steps, according to Anapanasati Sutta, has been categorized into four tetras, and each tetra, first one per tetra or first four, links to Kayanupasana in Satipatthana, and the second tetra is about Vedananupasana, and the third tetra is about Chittanupasana, and the last four is about Dhammanupassana. So when you practice Anapanasati by understanding its full procedure, you are developing Satipatthana. And we know what happened to us when we practice Satipatthana. It is the doorway to complete the 7 factors of enlightenment. And then from 7 factors for enlightenment to Vijja, Vimukti, and Nirvana is there. So Anapanasati meditation, if we discuss Anapanasati Sutta one day, we can see that it is a full menu for enlightenment. So here in this Maharahulava, the Sutta, Buddha explained the step of Anapanasati meditation. And then finally, Rahula, that is how mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, so that it is of great fruit, great benefit. When mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated in this way, even the final in-breath and out-breath are known as they cease and not unknown. This is what do you mean by that? If you practice Anapanasati meditation, as the Buddha said here in the Maharahulava Sutta, you always become mindful of your breath. Even at the death moment, you become mindful about your breath. So it is marvelous. So that is the entire discourse of Maharahulava Sutta. I did not go into details. The very important thing is that we need to work on Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo, Metta Karuna Mudita, Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo, Akasa, Metta Karuna Mudita Upekka, Asubha Sanya, and Anicca Sanya. So these are the meditation way time to time focus. At least my invitation for you to do all this preparatory meditation if you have enough time, without hanging on to one every day. Just understand the concept and reflect on it. For example, Vayodhatu, for example, or Tejodhatu, you feel the hotness or coolness of the day. During the winter time, I go out for walk and I keep my mind on Tejodhatu. That cold feeling is Tejodhatu. The manifest winter season, starting from the let's say last week of September to mid of May next year, the Tejo Dhatu is really manifested outside in that atmosphere. So when you encounter cold and when you come into the house, heating is there, and you can understand the Tejo Dhatu. And for example, when you have fever, just understand this is the manifestation of Tejo Dhatu. Therefore, your Patavi Dhatu is painful and Apo Dhatu is not in order, and you feel thirsty as well, you have loose motion, and then what else? Your wind property is disturbed. So just analyze the internal elements in such a way so that your mind is not bothered about your sickness. Perhaps the power of your mind helps you recover soon, right? And then metta, karuna, mudita, upekka are some of the commonly heard, always heard teaching by you, so that you know what exactly you need to do. And I know the fact that these four sublime state or divine abode should be practiced together. When you practice loving kindness, exactly as the Buddha said, you of course practice it with the support of the other three. Otherwise, it becomes wrong and fault, and there are unwanted things happen in your mind. Your mind leads to attachment if not upekka, mudita, wisdom is not there. Then asubha bhavana and anicca sanya, they are very powerful meditation. Sometime in the morning meditation, every day we take these meditation subject and try our best to be mindful about it. So that helps us deal with the community-based problems and personal family-based problems and so forth. So if you have issues with your wife and or husband or children, and maybe members in the society, it is because of lack of these practices. So if you have good practice, if you actually taste the Dhamma with this meditation, I'm pretty sure that you are not going to fight with anyone. You are not going to go further with problems, and there is somewhere you end it, you let go of it. Perhaps you have problems, but you are not going with them into your life because you know how to solve them. It is letting go, and it comes to us because of these practices. So Anapanasati is such a vast, deep, profound meditation. If you want to do it fully, you have to have such experience on these 11 meditation, at least couple of. That is what I would like to share with you based on the skeleton of the discourse, but there are many implications and addition into it from different discourses, but I want you to speak now. I know that many people are aware about this because there are very clear instruction from the Buddha for all of us. We have been discussing these facts for many time in our life, in many discussions, so that we know the theory. But we all should ask the questions ourselves whether we have done enough with each and every elements of the Dhamma here in the discourse. That should be done by individuals alone. So when we hear about these important direct messages, instruction from the Buddha, we are encouraged to do more, right? We become mindful about it. These days we hear a lot of death, corona death from Sri Lanka and some other countries. I have a habit to think that it is a function or a activity or a manifestation among elements. What is death means, according to the Parama Satya, is departing or separating the elements of the body. Ayu usmacha viññānaṁ yada kāyaṁ jahantimam apaviddo tada seti nirattangva kalingara. there is a lifespan and consciousness is there. Heat is here in the body. And Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, and other elements are uh, accurately functioning because of these elements of quality of life. And what happened when we die? These things separate. And if you have analyzed yourself and others in this manner, as the Buddha said to Venerable Rahula, how do you react to the particular death of a family member? You quickly get the point that, oh, it is a manifestation of certain elements missing from the body. No breath is absorbed through the nostril into the body, and no talking, no, because no consciousness is there. But Patavidhatu, Apodhatu, heat is there, and also air is also there. Breath is not only the air. Breath is a part of the internal air, and apart from the breath, there is other elements. For example, dead body. And if you take the dead body and cut into pieces, without cutting it, so there is the air elements in the body, but it is not that particular person's lung takes the breath in and out, because without consciousness you cannot do it. But air elements is inside the body, dead body. So yeah, when you practice meditation on elements, you can have that reactions to very difficult situation that many people face. Your responses are peaceful. You might do anything you can, but you are serene, and your approach to problem is very diplomatic, and no fighting at all happens, because you understand the fundamental reality of yourself and others. So a lot of problems could be solved if you practice this meditation. All right, friends. Anything you want to add? Or anything you want to change of what I said? Or anything you want to elaborate? Next, I would like to take Anapanasati Sutta, because we end this course today with the 16th step of Anapanasati. So there is a link between this discourse to Anapanasati. So I would take a couple of weeks to finish Anapanasati discourse. So I am very happy to take it next time. Yes.
But I was why did Buddha not right away? When Bharata said, "Go and," I mean, but Buddha took time to go some meditation before getting to Anapanasati. There must be a thinking whether maybe these meditation techniques, for example, will help to reduce the 5 hindrances. Example.
Yeah, you're right. Because meditation like Anapanasati is deep, and it has many steps to follow, so that you should have a very trained, very good mind to go into Anapanasati. So if you have learned how to let go of hindrances, you would find easy going with Anapanasati. So how we overcome hindrances with this kind of preparatory meditation? Actually, 40 subjects of meditation according to Visuddhimagga are there because we learn with them how to overcome hindrances. So here, yeah, you're right. That's why, meditation on Anapanasati is deep according to Anapanasati Sutta. And it is called Tathagata Viharana. I will tell them next week when we take the Anapanasati discourse, the definition or the explanation the Buddha has given to Anapanasati is like, this is Tathagata Viharana, Brahma Viharana. And what is the other word he used? I can remember that. Tathagata Viharana, Brahma Viharana, Tathagata Yanang Itipi. So that is how the Buddha defined Anapanasati. It is the way of Tathagata. It is the way of Brahma. Brahma here is not those Brahmas in the Brahma realm, the Arahants. And Venerable Mahakappina, one of the Arahants who practice Anapanasati into highest extent, is admired by the Buddha because of his calmness and stillness, because he practiced Anapanasati. There, Buddha admired Venerable Mahakappina as well as his meditation subject Anapanasati in such a way. These evidences show that Anapanasati is deep. So that, as you said, we need to get this experience from earth elements, meditation, fire elements, water elements, air elements, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, anicca sanya, asubha sanya, to get into Anapanasati. It means that you have been studied all the requirements and now you are starting Anapanasati without any problem. It's just like you have completed all the courses for a particular position so that you do not find difficulty in working in your position because you have studied everything. Suppose you are a doctor by profession, and if you pass the exam with plagiarism and all these things, without, you would find very difficulty in treating patients.
Restlessness, all those, yes.
Yeah.
The Anapanasati, I mean, when you talk about Anapanasati, they say it is like a direct link to the 4 foundations of mindfulness and the 7 enlightenment factors and the highway. But these are like small streets. We have to kind of make sure you drive those, and once you get to the highway, it's kind of a straighter route. So it's important. Maybe these preliminary exercises are important in a way, each depending on the person, I guess, right? But Buddha knew Rahula very well, so I guess he needed all this stuff, He could
Yeah, very true. I did not hear you for 2-3 seconds. It's fine. What you said is coming with you right after that. Yeah, very true. If you want to drive on the highway, before that you have to drive on the local ways and get some experience. And in the highway, it's you are speeding, you are up to 100 or 100. So the driver should have enough experience to handle the speed and of the vehicle and drive without any problem. So like that, Anapanasati is just like a direct path to nirvana, so that you have to have those experiences on other meditation subject before you go into Anapanasati. And I think when Buddha did not expect Venerable Rahula to practice all these 11 meditation, maybe his idea that the future disciples, both ordained and unordained, would take one of those or two of those 11 meditation subject and get ready for Anapanasati. Because depending on character, some meditation are not good. Like the raga character which has lust as prominent quality, should take asubha bhavana and practice. And for raga charita, loving kindness is not a good meditation subject, because in loving kindness meditation you consider people here and there and in the family, so you might attach to those people. You have some sort of attachment more than ever with the loving kindness meditation, if loving kindness meditation is not practiced with wisdom. So for a raga charita, asubha bhavana would be the most important meditation subject out of 11 to get into Anapanasati. So like that, depending on characters, we do not take to practice all these 11, but some of them.
Venerable Sir, isn't it even in Girimananda Sutta, because he was sick, he was prepared in a similar way to approach to Anapana?
Indeed, you brought the very good point that Anapanasati is coming as the 10 perception there. Before that, we have Anicca Sanya, Asubha Sanya, Anatta Sanya, Adinava Sanya, Pahana Sanya, Viraga Sanya, Nirodha, Sabbaloki, Anabhirata Sanya, Sabba Sankara, Swanishanakya. I think I said many things there. So those are the 9, perception, good perception we should develop before we come to Anapanasati. Yeah, the same pattern is there. Approach. Yeah, we can say that clearly that Anapanasati is being practiced fully with all forms of it when one have those perception like Anicca Sanya, Anatta Sanya, Subha Sanya, and so on. Very true. Because look at Anicca Sanya. We have perception of Anicca Sanya here. And then Asubha Sanya is here and also in Girimananda Sutta. And Anatta Sanya is being addressed always after each section. This is not mine, this I am not, and this is not myself. That is the basis of Anatta Sanya, right? And in Girimananda Sutta, we have the 6 senses and their respective objects, Chakkung Anatta, Rupang Anatta, and so on. It is said in a simple manner here.
Yeah.
Then we have Sabbaloki, Anabhirata Sanya, Sabba Sankare, Swanicca Sanya. They are also considered in a simple way here. I think, yeah, when with Anapanasati, if we consider Anapanasati, both discourses are important. You have to have some good practice on impermanence, Asubha, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka, and the difference between Rahulwada Sutra and Anicca, Dasa Sanya, we don't have Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka directly in the Dasa Sanya, Girimananda Sutta. But it is included. Yeah, very true. So the message of the discourse is very clear, so that you may not having any more questions. So read the Rahulwada Sutta. It is an easy sutta to remember. So that keep the message in mind and try your best to be mindful on internal elements and practice pro Brahma Vihara and have those 2 important practices, Asubha Sanya and Anicca Sanya. And time to time you get the opportunity to practice Anapanasati and you find very easy going in Anapanasati if you practice those meditation. Having one more thing I would finish. When you practice elements meditation and 4 Brahma Vihara and so on, what exactly happens in us? Discipline is made automatically. Your sila is, building in a very nice way. And then samadhi mind, which means getting rid of 5 hindrances, could be easy for you because your sila is being, strengthened very well with this reflection, and attaining to samadhi levels would not be that difficult for you, so that you find very easy in Anapanasati. It means that you get samadhi through Anapanasati quicker than before because you have trained mind now on impermanence, non-self, and dukkha. So that very important discourse, very important message of the Buddha to Venerable Rahula then and later all of us. So let's try our best with the Dhamma in the discourse, and see you next week to discuss Anapanasati. Until then, I wish may you have the power of this discourse in your mind, and also the blessing of the Noble Triple Gem to be away from physical and mental problems. May you be in perfect peace and happiness until we see you next week. With that blessings in mind, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Silavantam gunavantam punyakittam anuttarang durlabhena maya laddang buddha puttang namam sadhu sadhu.
May you be well, happy, and peaceful.